A deadly drone strike has been conducted a day before Good Friday in Ethiopia. Dozens have been killed. Videos, pictures in circulation. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Three main news stories in this video for you. Firstly, the drone strike I mentioned. Obviously, Amhara region is the place where the strike was conducted. Secondly, DDR is resuming in Tigray. This is what I said, that Abi's government wants a DDR first to be implemented in Tigray. Thirdly, an strike has been conducted on some vessels which were carrying weapons for Al Shabaab in Somalia's territorial waters. Let's start from Somalia, then the second news story about Tigray. At the end, we'll have a look at what happened in Amhara region today. Firstly, with Somalia, where an airstrike has been conducted on some weapon shipments which were on their way towards Somalia's coast. AFRICOM, US Africa Command, has confirmed this strike. US is playing a key role, by the way, in the fight against Al-Shabaab. US boots are not on the ground in Al-Shabaab. US is mainly conducting drone strikes, airstrikes. But these drone strikes, airstrikes are definitely inflicting heavy losses on Al-Shabaab. According to AFRICOM, a cargo vessel was targeted, unflagged. Secondly, a smaller support boat was targeted in these strikes by US planes in Somalia's territorial waters. AFRICOM claimed that the boat and the vessel were carrying modern military equipment for Al Shabaab fighters, and no civilian casualty happened in these strikes. Somalia's government saying the same thing. Al Shabaab relies on smuggled weapons. Somehow it gets weapons from other countries, from arms smuggling. By the way, arms smuggling is a big business in the Horn of Africa. There's conflict in Somalia, conflict in Ethiopia, conflict in uh, Yemen, close to Horn of Africa, conflict in Sudan, close to Horn of Africa, conflict in South Sudan. There are so many armed conflicts. Obviously, armed smugglers flourish. This is what is happening. So it's not difficult for Al Shabaab to acquire weapons, to buy weapons. Armed smugglers are operating in Somalia, in Ethiopia, in Sudan, in Yemen. Reportedly. Secondly, was DDR has resumed in Tigray disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of Tigray fighters. DDR was suspended. DDR halted during Getacheo's tenure when Getachew and TPLF developed differences. Tigray military supported TPLF. Debretsion, Getachew wanted to implement DDR, federal government too, but military and TPLF paused DDR. Military and TPLF paused DDR to put pressure upon the federal government of Ethiopia. Getachew was removed. New president in power. I told you that when they talked to Abiy before his appointment, Abiy got assurance from him that he will immediately implement DDR in Tigray. And I think they gave a written commitment to 8-point document was signed by Varade. That the Tigray government will implement DDR. So DDR has resumed in Tigray. Today we saw pictures of Tigray soldiers being disarmed, demobilized. Tilahun, Tamaskan, National Rehabilitation Commissioner was there too. He is in charge of the department tasked with overseeing the DDR process in Tigray, Amhara, etc. The regions too. Fisseha Manjos was there too. Fisseha is the head of peace and security, a senior Tigray military officer. I think he's a lieutenant general. He was there, he spoke there, and he's asked federal government to implement its part of Pretoria deal to fulfill the obligations which federal government should fulfill. Which obligations? I think Tigray wants federal government to disarm and disband militias in Humera Volca Sagade. I showed you pictures today. I told you about what is happening in Humera Volca Sagade, where Ashata Dam, Leokul, and Magazadu are recruiting, training more militias. So Tigray wants uh, dismantlement of non-ENDF forces in Humera Volca Sagade, so that dialogue could start between Tigray and Amhara. But will federal government implement it? Let's see. Last, it was a deadly drone strike was conducted today in the Amhara region. Pictures, videos, and so I have a clip for you showing that people can be seen carrying some dead bodies, trying to move the dead bodies and the injured people to safe locations. The drone strike was conducted in Gadeb town, which is in Narch and Noga Wareda. I think it's in East Gujam zone of the Amhara region. Videos show more than one dead bodies being transported by the people over their shoulders, on their foot. They were removing the dead bodies from the scene of the strike. Some sources say that the strike targeted Easter celebration gathering. We don't know, but it was conducted a day before Good Friday. It's tragic. It's very tragic. Government people don't acknowledge that civilians are dying in airstrikes, don't strike. They always say that airstrikes hit targets, hit extremists, hit foreign fighters. We don't know. Independent media has no access to Amhara region. Human rights organizations have no access to Amhara region. So we don't know what is happening on the ground, but federal government, Amhara regional government, I think they are fully prepared to use brutal force against Fano fighters. Civilians will die too. Both sides, I think, making preparations for another phase of the armed conflict in the Amhara region. Fano fighters gearing up to start the second round of their Operation Unity. ENDF prepared to ENDF making offensive preparations to in the Amhara region reportedly. Watch a clip. The clip is from East Gujam, from Gadab town. It shows the aftermath of an airstrike in the town by the Ethiopian Air Force. Thank you.